Hello, my name's Steve and I sell stuff on eBay as a hobby, and every week I do a video on what I've sold and how much I get paid for it, but I'm unable to do that this week because I'm on holiday. So by the time this goes out, I'll be in Cyprus. So I thought what I would do is to have a look at something that a number of people ask me, which is basically how do you sell books on eBay? So I thought we would have a look at the listing tool, see how I fill that in. And in fact, I don't use the seller hub. I use a simpler listing tool, which I find easier to get on with. Usually doesn't take more than a few minutes to fill it in. So what am I going to list? Is this bundle of books. It's a bundle of books by various authors. It's a bunch of thrillers. I've compiled this from books that I've picked up over the months when I'm looking in charity shops and buying them at three for a pound or four for a pound or whatever. And if I can't put together a bundle by one author, I'll get a mixed bundle together with, I hope, a sort of similar theme. So we've got books here by Linda Fairstein, Anthony Horowitz. We've got two of his. We've got The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins, a book by Emma Kavanagh, and one by Jim Kelly. So let's have a look at how I'd go about listing those. So we start off here. No, we don't. We do not start off here. So we start off with the eBay homepage, and up in the top right hand side of the screen here we have the option to press on sell, and that will take you to this screen where you would click on list an item. Now this is where you need to put in a title. I use the older listing tool rather than the seller hub because I just couldn't get on with the seller hub. But what I need to do here is to come up with a title for this item. So we're going to call it a thriller book bundle. I'm going to mention some of the better known names of this list of writers. So Anthony Horowitz, Paula Hawkins, and I think I'll put Emma Kavanagh in there, and then etc., because that's not going to allow many more characters. Press on return, and it comes to this page which invites you to find a match. And if you click on one of these, basically you will get a template with all of the details filled in if your book is there. In this case, my book is not here because obviously I'm listing a bundle anyway. No, I can't see it. But in most cases, almost all cases when I'm listing, I will press this button down here, which is continue without a match, and then I can tailor it to my own requirements. First thing you need to fill in is the condition of the item. Now, I always put acceptable just to cover the possibility of a change in condition between listing and selling or damage in the post or whatever. So I always put acceptable. Obviously, I don't want things to degrade in the post or whatever. And if people did get in touch with me, I would probably come to some arrangement with them. But acceptable, I think, is the thing to put. And pressing on that, this is where you get your listing tool screen coming up. So we've already got the title at the top here. The condition is already filled in. And because Anthony Horowitz and Paula Hawkins are recognized from the title that I input, those are already ticked on there. But I do have the option of putting more authors in there. So we'll put in Linda. Linda Fairstein is also known by eBay. So we've got that one. So we've clicked on there. And next name that we're going to put in is Emma Kavanagh. Not recognized by the system, so we'll put add custom value, and then we'll put in Jim Kelly, and normally you don't have to click on add custom value, you can just put return. So we've got Jim Kelly, Emma Kavanagh, Anthony Horowitz, Paula Hawkins, and Linda Fairstein. Next thing is the book title. So what I tend to do here, because you can only list one title, I'm going to put in a line to kill. I might have put in, say, the girl on the train because that's quite well known. But I think there's a lot of that out there. So I think people are more likely to be looking for the newer Anthony Horowitz. Tick English, you have to tick a language, otherwise it won't allow you to list. Let me just close that need help screen there. Publisher, I don't fill that in usually. Sometimes I do, it depends on what I'm selling. But with a bundle of books by various publishers, there's really no point in doing that. Topics, thriller, well, yes, okay, I'm happy with that. Book series, not really a series there, but The House of Silk is actually a Sherlock Holmes story, so I think I will put that in. So people might search on Sherlock Holmes, so that could come up. Genre, mystery for sure, and I think also I'd be putting in, it did come up there, crime and thriller. So we've got two listed there. More recommended. Now I do fill in some of these. You get an awful lot of these, but none of them are really that compulsory. So let's have a look at what I do actually fill in. So intended audience, adults, fiction. Uh, these are all manufactured in the UK, so I'll put that in. Original language English, I don't think that's necessary here, but I'm putting it in anyway. It's a paperback. No particular features on this one, I think. So there's nothing for me to tick there. Really not going to bother with unabridged. Edition, if it was a first edition, you might put that in. The type here, it's a novel. And that's really about all I would fill in. It's not a vintage book. If it was, I might tick this here, so that would be either yes or no. If it was signed, again, yes or no. And personalized, don't even know what that means to be honest. So I never tick that either. Next thing to do is to put in some photographs. So I usually have these prepared in a file, so I'm going to copy and paste them all in at the same time. And when you do that, they never put them in the order that you want, so I have to shift these about. I want this photograph of the front covers to be the main picture. I'll put the back covers next, and then this one, which is the books piled up in a column. That's always quite handy to see as well, and people want to see what the conditions of the spines are like. So moving down, we've got a description. Now it says optional. I always fill this in, particularly with second-hand goods, because you need to be very specific about their condition. It has already filled in the first line, which is the title of the item from above. But I don't quite like that. But I would, so I'll probably be changing that to make it more indicative of what the actual bundle is. Now, I do have some set phrases for books, which makes it quicker for me to list. So I just cut and paste this phrase in, which is this book has wear from reading and storage, including creases, stains, dints, marks, and scuffs. However, there is no major damage. It is free of writing, is intact and readable. Please have a look at the photographs for a general idea of condition. So both these sections here, I think, need some revision. There are some defects that I want to specifically mention in this second paragraph here, but I've already prepared that. So let me just cut and paste that in. So this reads, these books are aware from reading and storage, including creases, marks and scuffs. House of Silk, well, let's put that in italics because we know that's the title of the book. As a dealer's stamp written inside the front cover. However, there's no major damage. They're free of other writing, are intact and readable. And again, those are things that you might amend according to the actual condition of the books. Now, I did also want to include the titles of the book, so I've got that to copy and paste somewhere, so just give me a moment while I find that. Oh, that gives it away, doesn't it? The next bit to complete is the description, and although eBay have put optional here, I really would advise anybody selling books, particularly second-hand books, that they need to fill this in with some detail there about the condition of the books and specific details. eBay have actually already put this first phrase in there, which is just a copy of the title from the top. This isn't quite what I want to put in that space. So I have actually prepared what I want to put in there. So let me copy and paste that in. So what have I put? I've put it's a bundle of mystery stroke crime fiction by various authors, and then there's a list of the individual books. And now really what I want to put in is some form of words about the actual condition of the books. Now I have a standard phrase that I use for this. So I would copy and paste this in. Move it up a little bit. Now what it says is these books are aware from reading and storage, including creases, stains, dints, marks and scuffs. However, there is no major damage. They're free of writing, are intact and readable. But that's not quite enough detail, so I would amend that. And indeed, I have amended that. So again, I am going to copy and paste a different description there, or a slightly different description there. So this has changed into these books have wear from reading and storage, including creases, marks and scuffs. House of Silk has a dealer's stamp stroke price written inside the front cover. However, there is no major damage. They are free of writing, are intact and readable. Please have a look at the photographs for a general idea of condition. So that's my description done. The next is the pricing. Usually what you will get on this particular listing tool is eBay suggesting that you put this up for auction. Sometimes it gives a suggested asking price there. If it's something that usually sells at a high value, that could be £50 or £100 or whatever. In this case, eBay hasn't got any clue on this one. And in fact, I'm not going to sell it by auction anyway. I'm going to sell it under buy it now. And again, eBay would, in some cases, have a suggested price there. So what am I going to sell? 6 books, 6 paperbacks for? Well, I think my starting point is £12. I think that's a reasonable amount. That's £2 per item. More options. You do have the option to allow potential buyers to send you an offer. eBay is suggesting that the minimum price would be £6. In fact, they always put half of the price there, but I wouldn't accept that. It's not much more than covering my postage, really. So I am going to change that to £9. You do get the option to schedule your listing start time. I rarely do that. I usually just put them up straight away, or else save them to drafts, which we'll look at the minute. Quantity, well, I'm only selling one, so I don't need to tick that. But if you're selling something in multiples, which you might be doing with a new item, obviously you'll put the quantity in there. The delivery options are next. Now, usually the default for eBay these days is their Packlink, which is eBay delivery through various different couriers. I don't use that, so I'm going to change the delivery service to Royal Mail, which used to be the default until the strikes last year. And this is in fact a parcel, so that's what we've got it up at. So 0 to 2 kilograms, and in fact the price £3.49. That's the same for up to 1 kilogram. But I'm going to allow free postage on this one. There is eBay does this sometimes. It's very annoying, but they're relisting it. I might have to redo some things. No, I don't. That's fine. 12. Yeah, it's yeah, that's fine. I just need to put that back onto free for buyer. That is slightly annoying. It's doing it again. This is the problem with eBay. Uh, let's try a third time, shall we? Come on, you've got to work this time. Yes, that's worked. Now, you do have the option to add a second delivery service, which again you can pick from this list. I'm not actually going to do that. I'm just going to leave it at that one option. But you might, for example, want to put in a different courier or maybe first class rather than second class, but I'm leaving it as it is. Global shipping program. I am on the global shipping program, so people can buy things from, well, almost all over the world because I have restricted some places. But eBay would charge them extra for that. And they would also charge me a higher fee if somebody buys from abroad. There's the option also for collection in person, and again, I never pick that because if somebody's coming to your home to pick it up, you've got no proof of delivery, so I'm not going to choose that option. So that's it. Now what we can do is to have a preview to see what the listing is going to look like when it is actually listed. So that's all looking good there. Got the description in, I've got the item specifics filled in. It's not going to tell me what the postage is particularly. And at this point I could list it, but actually I'm not going to. I'm going to actually save this for later. And that takes us back to this screen. So that is how you list a book on eBay. So that's it. It's quite simple, really, isn't it? Anyway, I hope you found that interesting. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment below, and maybe, as I keep forgetting to say, hit the bell notification icon so that you're advised when I put a video out. Well, that's it. See you next time.